My name is Colleen, and this is my kitchen. Believe it or not, this was me 4 years ago. I struggled with my weight my entire life. And finally, I came to the realization that diets don't work. By simply eating healthy and moving more, I was able to lose over 100 pounds. I started at a size 26W, and within about a year and a half, I went to a size 12, no W. And best of all, I've now kept the weight off for over 2 years, and counting. So now here I am in my kitchen showing you how you can eat healthy and lose weight just like I have. Because if I can do it, you can too. Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Fall is in the air and there is nothing better on a crisp fall night than a nice warm soup. So tonight I'm going to take the chicken pot pie that I made for you last year and turn it into a really delicious Tarragon chicken pot pie soup. It's going to be low fat, good for you, and absolutely delicious. So let's get this show on the road. Our Tarragon chicken pot pie soup starts with about a tablespoon of olive oil that I am heating over medium heat in my nice cast iron soup pot here. And we're going to start with what's called a mirepoix. Mirepoix is a French term. It's a base that you would use for many soups and stews. And it just consists of onion. So I have one large onion chopped here. Celery, 2 stalks of celery that I've diced up, and carrots. I have 2 carrots that I've chopped up here. That is a mirepoix. So to this, we're going to add just a couple of things. First off, add a nice pinch of coarse sea salt. And then, this is, after all, Tarragon chicken pot pie soup. I have a nice tablespoon of chopped fresh tarragon from my garden, of course. To go with that, I have a teaspoon of fresh thyme leaves. And then I have 2 cloves of garlic. You can chop this in, you know me, I love my garlic press. No peeling, no chopping, just press it in there. Once I have my ingredients in there, I'm going to give them a good stir, and I'm going to cook this until the onions are transparent. That's going to take about, 10 minutes or so. Our starter base of mirepoix, remember that's just carrots, celery, and onions. Added some herbs, some garlic, a pinch of salt. It's cooking up really nicely. You can see the onions are just about transparent. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a ½ pound of red potatoes that I've chopped up. It equates to about 2 cups once it's chopped. Let's go ahead and add those in. And then I have 6 brown mushrooms sliced up, and that equates to just under a cup and a half once they're chopped up. Add those in the mix as well. I'm going to cook that for maybe 5 more minutes to let those mushrooms cook up. They'll get nice and tender and release some of their water here. Once the mushrooms have cooked up, you'll see there's a little bit of sticking to the bottom of the pan, just slightly, from those potatoes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add shredded chicken. And I made it myself. I just took a pound of chicken breast, boiled it in water for about 20 minutes, and then let it cool and shredded it up. And it yields about 2½ to 3 cups of shredded chicken. You could also use the meat off of a rotisserie chicken if you wanted to get something a little bit faster. I like to do this though because I can better control my salt intake. So I'm just going to stir that in. And then, once I have that combined, I have a ¼ cup of unbleached all-purpose flour. Let's stir that in, make sure everything gets really well coated. Then I have 4 cups of a homemade chicken broth, and this is salt-free. I'm going to stir this in. that flour that we added is going to help this get really nice and thick. I'm just going to take my spoon and go over the bottom of that pan and get anything that has stuck a little bit loosened up and mixed back into the soup, because that's where a lot of the flavor is. Then I have 1 cup of frozen peas. I love the petite peas. I think they have more flavor. And so I'm just going to add these here. And then a 1/4 cup of chopped fresh parsley. Stir that in. And now we're just going to let this soup cook. I'm going to bring it to a boil, reduce it down to low, and then let it simmer covered for about 30 minutes. While that soup is cooking, we're going to go ahead and prepare a little bit of milk. We're going to be making our own sort of buttermilk here. And let me show you what I mean. We're going to add this at the end of the cooking time, but we want it to sit for a little bit to kind of help ripen up. And so what we're going to do is I'm using a tablespoon of tarragon vinegar. Now this is a tarragon infused vinegar I bought at the store. If you don't have that, you can use a white wine vinegar and a little extra tarragon, like maybe a tablespoon of tarragon. And then I'm going to take skim milk, a fat-free milk, and I'm going to add enough skim milk up to a total of 1 cup of liquid. And there we go. We're going to let this sit for the 30 minutes that the soup is cooking and simmering away, and then we're going to add this in at the end to give it a little additional flavor and a little bit of creaminess. Once our soup has cooked up for that 30 minutes, we're going to take that milk that we created with the vinegar and let it sit for about ½ an hour, and it should be thickened up and about the consistency of buttermilk. Give it a stir and then go ahead and add it into the soup. So you can see it lightens up the color a little bit. It's going to add a little flavor to the dish and a little bit of creaminess. So now all that's left to do is to cook this for just 10 minutes more. Let that warm through with the milk in it. Then we're going to serve this up. And here we go, our lean and luscious tarragon chicken soup. This recipe serves 6 people at about 1.5 cups per serving. And I went ahead, because I love that crust that you get on chicken pot pie, I went ahead and toasted up 4 ounces of wheat bread that I cubed up, some wheat artisan bread. Just brushed it with some olive oil, cubed it up, and crisped it up in the oven to make some nice little croutons for the top of my soup. That's optional, not included in the nutritional information that I'll post for this recipe, but a great way to get those crunchy carbs in without all the fat and the calories that come from a crust. I'm going to go sit down, enjoy my dinner. I hope you'll give this a try. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time in my kitchen.